we managed to grab pretty much the entirety of the Roman Empire as Byzantium with the use of our PRONOIARs, which is a unique Byzantine type of subject that allows the instant integration when the leader of that subject dies for 0 diplo power and without having to wait for the integration process. It is absolutely insane how we managed to get 4,000 development in the 1500s as Byzantium. PRONOIARs are insanely overpowered, way more powerful than I previously anticipated. And make sure to leave a like. If we get 4,800 likes on this video, I'm going to be doing the next part of the campaign. Plus, don't forget to subscribe for the glory of the Roman Empire. Alright boys, I think the first thing we got to do here is give a little bit of a situation on the current Byzantine Empire. It is 1507 and it might look like we're doing really great, which we are, I'm not denying it, but there are some major issues that we're going to be discussing, some bottlenecks that we're going to have to work our way through because we do want to restore the Roman Empire as Byzantium. Now, of course, if you haven't seen the first part, you'll see the link to the first part of the campaign in the description below, so you can see how you can easily defeat the Ottomans in the first few years and end up with an empire similar to the one that I have right now in 1506, 1507. You also can get the save for yourself if you go over to my Discord. The economy we have is not amazing. We're basically taking a little bit more expenses than we have income. One of the reasons for that is because we have a lot of taxation reduction modifiers, and tax is still king in 1507, so we need to fix this up first and foremost. We only have 2 loans, so that's at least decent. Manpower wise, we're doing really good, so that's not an issue, but we do need to start recruiting more units. We have up to 98 the land force limit, so we're gonna have to standardize our units. We've got a very unstandardized army right now, and that's really gonna bite us in the butt as soon as we start any more conflicts. And then the third thing that's an issue is our diplo relations. We have allies in Castile and Aragon, but these are going to be our main expansion paths in this playthrough, and I'm going to be first and foremost canceling these 2 alliances, and we're going to be replacing both of these nations with the French or the Austrians if they're not rival. They are rival to each other. I'm going to have to decide between these 2. France is not too bad actually right now. Maybe France and Savoy, and then we can switch between Savoy and Austria. That works too. We don't really have any aggressive expansion into Europe because we haven't really been expanding into Europe. We've primarily been expanding into the Middle East, so we're going to be using one major war in North Africa to take the rest of the lands that we don't have, namely the Tunisian bits, which are also guaranteed by the Castilians, so we can use that war to weaken Castile. Subjects wise, we still have Mantua and Bologna as our subjects in Italy. We have Moldova, and we also have Morocco as one of our PRONOIARs, so whenever the leader of Morocco passes away, we're going to be integrating them just like we did with the Syrians just now actually. Also going to give the province of Figuig to my Moroccan subject since I cannot core it. We also can now clean up the borders here and get rid of what's left in Chandar. I do need some pretty borders. I am an absolute hater of border gore more than anything else. Another major issue I have in this campaign is that I was actually really unlucky with my mana distribution RNG. Basically, I had a lot of events that lowered my mana. I had a lot of usage of mana that was not most optimal. We did manage to keep at least our technology on par with the rest of the world, but we're really behind with our idea sets, so we're gonna need to honestly take a chill pill so we can fill up our idea sets, unlock level 10, and get the 3rd idea set, because falling behind with ideas really can murder your nation in the mid to late game. Also, we can now land a PRONOIAR in Moldova, seeing as we integrated Syria, so we have 1 slot open. And as long as we keep them below 15 Liberty Desire, we can also retract the right to inheritance. That is in 1 month, and that means whenever this 46-year-old voivode passes away, we're going to be able to integrate Moldova without having to spend any single bit of diplo power, which is really, really valuable for us right now. And we got our claim on this little holdout of Tripoli, which we can get rid of. I honestly just saw that they exist like a couple of years ago in game years. I didn't even realize that they broke away from Tunis and got hold of the island of Jerba. Alright, let's go ahead and get our next diplomat. So we have 5 diplomats, which is actually pretty good. We can use them to get more diplomatic vassals. I actually really love getting diplomatic vassals as Byzantium because you can make them PRONOIARs after, and it's just free real estate. So right now that would be Shirvan, Medina, Circassia, Trent, Florence actually would possibly become diplo vassals if we get higher diplo rep, maybe increase the trust and so on with them. So maybe it's worth getting an alliance with the Florentines after the war's over. One more thing that I made, a mistake that I made in the previous campaign, is I forgot to have my missionary assigned to autonomously convert provinces. Because of that, I probably lost a good few years of provinces not having been converted. So that kind of bites me in the ass, because look at the religious map mode. Most of our empire is either Shia or Sunni at this point, so not great. We really need to catch up and convert everything. And there you have it. Our great ally of France is here. Apparently we can still ally the Austrians too, so we'll keep both of these alliances for now. We have another couple of slots here, so let's see who we can get as temporary allies. Actually, England would be amazing, and surprisingly the English are not rivals to the French. In fact, they're rivals to the Aragonese and the Castilians, so that's honestly perfect. I'm obviously taking these alliances because these bigger nations will get less aggressive expansion with me when I annex all of Iberia and Italy, so it's going to be easier to handle any potential coalition as long as it doesn't include the big boys of Europe, namely England, France, Austria, and potentially Brittany. Now we also got the core creation cost reduction from our Byzantine ideas, which is going to be of massive help for our conquest. And let's also get Savoy. I think now we're ready for the war. Let's go ahead and attack Tunis. The Castilians will join in, which means that we're going to have to quickly focus on the Castilians too. They do have a pretty sizable fleet, 37, but we should have more ships than them, so we will be able to get control of the Gulf of Almeria and the Straits of Gibraltar, which means we'll prevent them from transferring their troops between North Africa and Europe at will. And we're also going to do this small little war against what's left of Sargatia. And the goal is to finish this war as soon as possible, because in 1 year we really need to fight the Mamluk. Oh, look at that! The French attacked Aragon as soon as I canceled my alliance with them. That is crazy. On the one hand, I'm happy to see it, but at the same time, it's not really great because it means the French might grow in size and it's going to make it harder for me to wipe them out afterward. We've also renewed the icon of Saint Michael, which gives 5 discipline and manpower recovery speed. Honestly, as the Byzantines, you really want to have a military icon, since you're going to need that extra little bit of oomph, especially if you go for quantity rather than quality troops, right? Because we do have quantity over quality right now. I also want to talk about one of the most important things in Europa Universalis for when should you core a state fully, or when should you make it a trade company and so on, right? Well, in our case here, what we've done is we've temporarily made everything basically full states with a few exceptions here and there, but I'm basically keeping Anatolia, the Balkans as my main states fully cored, and I'll be doing the same to the Western European parts after, once we switch the capital to Rome. We'll have all of Iberia, France, Italy, Balkans, and Anatolia as full states. North Africa, I'm actually going to turn into trade companies, all of it, as well as we'll be doing some trade companies in the Iraqi side and so on to get extra merchants out of that. However, until we make this into trade companies, before we make this into trade companies, I first off want to convert them to my religion, change them to my culture, so I never have to worry about religious rebels or whatever kind of cultural separatists from these regions in the rest of the campaign. Now, that does take a massive toll on my governing capacity, so as you can see, I'm already over governing capacity by 200, which is huge. That in essence lowers our admin efficiency by 11%, which in turn means it's going to be a lot more aggressive expansion, also 11 more aggressive expansion for taking provinces. So before we take anything, we're going to need to give out the plus 100 governing capacity privileges for our estates. Oh my god, I just saw, holy mother France, what the schnitzel, brother. We're going to set Cairo as the war target, and we're going to push for the war target too. We're going to need a couple more generals, I think. Well, you have one. Let me see if I can roll a better general with more siege pips. Apparently I cannot. I know it's not smart taking lands from Castile right now, but I'm going to make a single exception to that. I'm taking Agadir, as that's going to block off these 4 provinces of the Castilians, and in turn that means that the rebels that we have in these provinces will enforce their demands, and these are Moroccan separatists, so that means these 4 provinces will go to my Moroccan subject. You also can use the money we took from them to become defender of the faith, so we can assign the second autonomous missionary to start converting everything to our religion. And I'm going to be upgrading my Parthenon here using a little bit of manpower too. Why not? We have a lot of manpower right now. And I just realized I did that without giving out the privileges, so we took a lot of extra aggressive expansion for no reason. Oof. Tunis will still be around in one province because because I cannot fully annex the entirety of Tunis, sadly. 1 stability for 5 patriarchal authority. That sounds like a great deal to me. We've been getting a ton of Greek culture conversion events, so let's see what it looks like now. Anatolia is almost completely Greek, which is awesome, but they are mostly Sunni still, so we have to keep on converting these lands. I'm also bringing one of my armies to the border with the Hungarians because I can attack them with the help of Austria, France, and you know what? Actually, I'm just going to declare the war now because I can call in all of my allies, so my allies can do most of the heavy lifting by the time I get there, I guess. All right, we got the war score we need. We're going to be taking Cairo in this war simply because I want the best city in the Alexandrian node, so I get majority of the Alexandrian node after this. Plus, Cairo does have the pyramids as well as the Al-Azhar University, which gives globally idea cost reduction -5, and every time you upgrade it, you get innovativeness +3, +5, and +1. So the sooner you get that and upgrade it, the better. I do have to say that the time of the supremacy over the crown is over. We don't need them anymore. We're going to give the +100 mana privilege. Does mean we have very low crownlands now, so we're going to need to be careful because it will make some of our subjects a little bit more disloyal because of the extra 100 liberty desire from subject development. We also unlocked the theme system, which is a unique tier 5 government reform for the Byzantines. It makes our Ichenis land rights a lot better, and manpower in primary culture as well as accepted culture provinces +25, which is huge. Now I've also assigned one of my armies here to just basically wipe out any rebels that might pop out in the North African part, since we do have a lot of rebels that will likely pop out in this area, as well as I got another army doing the exact same in here. I was about to attack Iraq since it's basically really easy to take now, but we need to be at peace because I really need to take 5% crownland so we get above 6% crownlands that we have right now, right? Oh, something happened with Morocco. They got the province back. One thing that I didn't foresee is the fact that when a nation you have as a subject gets provinces back, is they will get increased liberty desire. They got a lot of increased liberty desire. I had to use 60 prestige to lower their liberty desire, so that is not good. You're 65, dude. Just please die. Come on. Let's go ahead and properly do this by setting our unit to autonomously suppress rebels. Wow, we can actually take 500 ducats from wait, how much can we actually take? 1,300, but we only get 180 out of that. Oh, no way. Okay, in that case, I'm just going to take the 2 provinces for the French because I know my beloved France is always going to be my bestest of friends, right? Totally not doing it so we can make them small and then use them as a vassal to feed back their cores. I would never do that, clearly. All right, you boyos, just the 4 provinces is enough. Cancel some cores. Does it make any difference if we cancel or not, though, cores? No, it doesn't. I just like to cancel cores. It's like, genuinely, it's like a pet peeve for me. Canceling cores, it's fun. I don't know. I like it. Does it have any impact on the game? No, it doesn't. Is it fun? It is, yeah. So I'll take that as a win. All right, now we can actually see some crownlands so we don't lose insane amounts of autonomy, and our subjects are a little bit more loyal now too. Plus, we can get more rivals in Castile, Poland, and we can hold off of getting the Austrians as a rival. And we can continue down our mission tree. We can do advance into Illyricum, and more importantly, we can start building up some workshops. They are actually giving us a ton of money right now, so I'm genuinely thinking to take some loans and just build a lot of workshops, or just not go to war for a few years, build up my economy, and then we're going to be insanely overpowered when we decide to go back to war again. And we can also do the City of World's Desire mission, which makes Constantinople insanely overpowered. Plus, until the end of the game, whenever we concentrate development, it's not going to give any loss. So every time we're going to be expanding, we will 100% be concentrating. That means it's going to be cheaper to core up those provinces, and we don't lose any of that development because it all goes back into our already cored up lands and capital. Aside from removing cores, another really favorite activity of mine in this game is to just lower the autonomy in provinces. This is quite literally free money and free manpower that we're getting, because you always want to keep your autonomy as close to 0 as possible. We do not believe in autonomy in the Roman Empire now, do we? All right, another day, another mission. We're going to hold out with this one until we get 60 loyalty for the Emporoi though, so we get 5 mercantilism instead of 3. And to do return to the gold, we just need to build a few more workshops, so we're actually not far off from being able to get this done. I'm also intentionally provoking my rebellions just so I can get rid of them a little bit faster. So we provoke the one in Kabylia when the troops is there, then we do the same for the one in Fezzan, and so on. It does mean that the rebels get more units when you spawn them, but I don't care. I've got enough soldiers to deal with any sort of rebellion, and I just want to get rid of them so that afterwards I can stop paying for my armies, so I actually make a lot more money and I can use that to build more buildings faster. Hey, truce is over with Castile. Let's go go ahead and actually use the reconquest of cores, and we're going to call in all of our allies and let our allies do most of the heavy lifting. I think I'm also going to co-belligerate the Papal States for that matter, though. And we're doing this because we might actually take Rome from the Pope. Let's see how much aggressive expansion that would be. 34, that's actually doable. That's 100% doable. I am so taking Rome in this war. The cool part is that I'm pretty certain I can give Celia to Austria, so I get rid of a very annoying OPM over here. Okay, let's also develop the gold mine in Kosovo. We need to get it up to 8 production development so we can do return to gold mission. And I'm also fairly confident that I can handle a war with the Karakoyunlus too. We need to take the Iraqi parts, which again is rightful Roman clay. Oh no, Savoy took parts of Milan. It's almost as if someone's planning to make Milan an OPM and then vassalize. Almost. Who's to say what's gonna happen, right? Oh no, dude. Are you kidding me right now? I was gonna take freaking Rome and now Naples occupied it. Oh my god, this is the worst case scenario. Well, that basically means that we can only do one thing, and that is peace them out. That's so unfortunate, honestly. We can release Provence. That is actually 9 head. I don't mind, Pope, that you keep your Rome. We'll take it later. But what matters is that these guys are indebted to us for having released them. So I'm going to start improving relations with them because I'm fairly confident I'm going to be able to diplo-vassalize Provence, and that's like 100 plus development of French lands that we're going to be able to feed them back later down the line. So there you go. Just mold yourself on whatever RNG you get. Sometimes you might not get the best outcome. Sometimes it might not work your way, but just make the most of it in essence. That really makes a difference between a good and a bad player in this game. I'm also going to be spamming some courthouses, which will lower the governing capacity by quite a bit, so we're going to be able to annex more provinces as consequence. Oh yes, baby. We got province war score minus 20%. We got an extra PRONOIAR that we can have from the admin ideas. It's starting to shape up for sure. Oh, we inherited Morocco. Oh god, was that guy like 73 or something? That kind of sucks though, because we were reconquering core, so that means we cannot reconquer core anymore. So these 3 provinces, we're gonna have to take the aggressive expansion for them too. Oof. Oh, that's unfortunate. And our governing capacity skyrocketed again because we integrated Morocco, bruh. Guess we can give out the Clericoy land, right? The last one that we can give out. Thank god we have the Cossacks estate, otherwise we would really be struggling with governing capacity right now. And I think it's time we also do the peace deal with the Castilians. I want to take the islands here. Wait, what? Occupied by France? Excuse me, France? No. No, 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 no. The islands here, I guess. Might as well take them. As well as all the southern state here, because we want to take the monument in Granada too, as well as have a foothold for future invasions into Iberia. Plus La Coruña, so we can release Galicia. And can we take Cordoba and Cáceres? We can. Okay. So that's it. That's the perfect peace deal, because we can release 1, 2, 3 subjects that we can feed back the cores. We can make them PRONOIARs, and we just basically integrate half of the Iberian land for free as consequence. So let's go with that particular peace deal. Boom shakalaka. That is a very fair deal in my opinion. You barely got any lands lost, Castile, let's face it. Ignore the fact that there's a massive PP in your side here. Now it did mean that we lost a lot of diplomatic power and we're a little bit overextended, but it's going to be fine because remember, we have a superpower. We can concentrate and we don't lose any development, right? This does say that we lose development, but the mission said we don't. So I'm going to trust the mission and I'll expect that I didn't lose any of that 5 development. Oh no, I didn't occupy Malta. I just realized I thought I occupied it earlier, but apparently I didn't. So it reverted to control of Naples because it had cores on Malta. That is unfortunate. Luckily enough, the Karakoyunlus, I am going to peace them out now because I do need to release some subject. Alright, that does mean we can get 1 stability from Follow the Rivers mission. And we're going to use a little bit of our prestige to placate our PRONOIARs, which are very disloyal apparently. Freaking hell, man. How old are you? You're 63. Can you guys stop living up to 100 years and just pass away already? I don't really have much of an option. I'm also going to be releasing Iraq as a PRONOIAR. If I don't, then I'm going to be overextended for a very long time. They're going to get 5 provinces and I'm going to give them the other 3 provinces to the south as well. Plus they have another province we can take from Ajam later down the line, I guess. I guess this is also kind of historical since the Romans technically did have these areas more as subjects of various sorts than actually directly controlled by them for a majority of time at least. They had various Arabic tribes under their tributary system, I guess you could say. There you go. We can make Galicia into a pronoiar, and we'll be doing the exact same with Leon, which has a little bit of liberty desire now. Okay, everyone's getting a lot of liberty desire all of a sudden, for Christ's sake. There you go. Now we can land a pronoiar here. So we got a pronoiar in Leon, we have another one in Galicia, and we have the third one, which we haven't yet done in Iraq. We have to do that. I guess I'll do that after I integrate Moldova, which is being a bit of a pain in the ass. Oh my god, finally we inherited Moldova. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Freaking most rebellious and annoying vassal ever. Now I kind of get how the Ottomans felt about my people for 500 years. Now it goes without saying, the first age ability we're gonna go for is the religious war, which means when we attack nations of a different faith, non-orthodox, we can take 25% more, which is huge because pretty much nobody except the Muscovites are orthodox right now. And of course some nations in Italy that we've been slowly making orthodox. And what do you know, guys, little old Milan became a 2-province minor nation. With a lot of juicy cores on my enemies of Venice. Well, if it isn't, time to make him my subject. And speaking of, I almost forgot to make Provence a subject, which is an absolute must. Now let's see, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cores we can take back from the French. Oh, almost forgot to make these guys a pronoiar too. Okay, 29 liberty desire. Fairly confident I can make them a integrated pronoiar. For a bit of spring cleaning here, basically we're wiping out what's left of Tunis and getting rid of those horrible cores that they accrued over time. Great part is that once we pacify this area, we convert it to our religion, convert it to our culture, we never need to worry about rebels here, so we don't even need to station any armies. In fact, historically speaking, the Roman Empire usually had like 1 or 2 legions stationed in North Africa. That's it, because after they basically conquered all of North Africa above the Saharan bits, it was really easy to maintain the cities. It was actually a golden age for North Africa. Peace, prosperity, lots of trade was happening everywhere. Nobody was murdering anyone. Nobody was vying for power because they all had a central government in Rome. It was honestly one of the best periods to be living in North Africa, the breadbasket of the Roman Empire, together with the Egyptian parts, of course, as it was known. I mean, Egypt is also part of North Africa, so reinforces my point, I guess. Now we do need a lot more ships. I'm gonna get a caravel fleet, and I might start disbanding some of my fighting ships because I need around 100 light ships for now, I'd say, as well as I need a flagship. So let's go ahead and build one in Constantinople. Why not? Name it after the famous Byzantine warrior Jonicus Sinopoulos. Famous for sure. Light ship, of course. Trade ship, trade power per ship and fleet +1. Fleet movement speed. And you know what? We're gonna go crazy and do the monthly chance of admiral skill gain. Why not? Better than nothing. Alright, the second war with the Mamluks is done. Now this time I cannot really take any money because I'm not in the mood to stay in this war for any longer. I'm also not getting too much aggressive expansion considering the amount of lands that we're taking. We're basically taking all of the actual Egyptian parts, plus we're snaking all the way to Mecca too. We're gonna have to attack Medina next in order to connect our lands now. And we also can do a few more missions. We can do into Aegyptus, which means we get a lot of claims in the Arabian parts as well as the North African parts, which we already conquered actually, so it's a bit late to get these claims, but I guess better late than never, right? Oh bro, we got 100 overextension exactly. Seriously, even after concentrating, that's crazy. It's so cheap, all the cores now. We are basically paying 13% to core this stuff. Look at that. We have 87% coring cost reduction because of the Roman Empire, adaptability, having a permanent claim, the fact that it's a golden era, innovativeness, and so on. So yeah, it's just crazy. I do want to get 100% innovativeness. We don't really have that much. We only have 30%. So like I said earlier, we did struggle with the mana generation at the first phase of the campaign. We didn't have the best RNG. Even now, I mean, my air is 440. That is pretty bad actually. Now we also made the Milanese our subject, and what we can do is we can use our favors to return the cores, namely Pavia and Novara from Savoy. That way we avoid quite a bit of a big war, and we got quite a lot of development. 26 development in this one and 16 in the other province. That's pretty cool. Also, we got a third missionary now since we have the city of Mecca, and we can use more favors to return turn the course from the French. Oh, the Mamluks are actually guaranteeing Medina. So if we attack them now, we basically reset the truce that we have with the Mamelukes. Oh, hell yeah, that's actually amazing. It does mean that we cannot core anything from the Mamelukes, so we're gonna have to quickly piece them out. We were able to take their capital pretty quick since they just moved the capital there and they didn't really have much of a garrison, so now we can do a quick peace deal. Shaka, we got a little bit of ducats, so that means technically we won that, okay? Centuries of exhaustion, depopulation, disaster have shrunk the city of Constantinople so much so that within the walls itself there was much farmland. Thankfully, this trend has been reversed, and the city has now managed to outgrow these walls, climbing in population and numbers. And we just finished coring all of the Egyptian parts. We actually core a lot faster because of the core creation cost reduction. It also speeds up the time it takes to core provinces, not just make them cheaper. All right, we can do Diplotech 10 now. And I just realized Persia clearly was formed by a jam. Pretty funny how we got Persia and we got Georgia still around. And Persia's guaranteeing Georgia. Much like historically, the Romans and the Persians fought a lot over who's the real owner of the Georgian and the Armenian part. Spoiler, it's us. We're the real owners. Now, as long as I let Medina alive, I don't need to fight Fars. I can just take 2 provinces and then I can piece them out. And that's enough for me, honestly. That does mean we can do our mission now. I'm also going to be taking my 5 1% loans so I can, first off, embrace colonialism, which I have yet to embrace. And second off, we're going to be spamming workshops and barracks and everything else with the remainder of the money because we want to have as many buildings as possible. We have not been building as much as we should have. I think that was the last province. Now, all of Anatolia is officially Greek, Cappadocian, or Pontic. Also, religious-wise, we've pretty much doubled down on it, so most of Anatolia is now Orthodox, with quite a few other parts around our empire also Orthodox. We have doubled down on the modifiers, so we're roughly converting one province every 7 or 8 months. Also using a lot of my prestige and paying off debt in order to make most of my PRONOIARs lose the right to inheritance, so that way we can basically integrate them once they die. We've got so far Galicia as a regular PRONOIAR, we've got Leon, Mantua, I think Iraq or something like that, so we've got quite a few of them. Oh, we can make Ferrara a vassal diplomatically. Yes, please. There we go. We can now switch over and produce glass in Naxos too. Imagine if I was a sneaky boy and I kept my units next to the border with the Venetians. I could easily just stack wipe their entire army, wouldn't I? You know what? I'm actually gonna do that. Yeah, I don't think they've caught on to what I'm trying to do here, have they? Nope, they definitely have not. Oh no, Venos, you lost your army. Okay, let's see if they want to piece us out now that we got Warsaw. Oh, they do actually. Okay, so we're gonna take a little bit of money, get them out of the war. Hallelujah. So now we can use these troops on the Venetian front, or the Western front, better yet. Funnily enough, though, both Poland and Lithuania together have less unit than Brittany. Oh, and the coolest part, we can literally restore the Senate for the Romans. Basically, it allows us to enable Parliament, but it disables the call to diet interaction. So that is freaking awesome. We have a Parliament, boys, now. And I think missionaries +1 is definitely the right choice here, because we need to have as many missionaries as possible. We're also going to be giving Constantinople the seat in the Parliament. Only one, the rest of them they can assign by themselves. This is enough for now, so we can actually pass that and get that extra missionary, and we can assign them to the autonomous pool. Now, this is my first encounter with the French units, and I have to say it's gruesome. They got 10 more discipline than me. They've got 1 more morale almost, or 0.7 more morale than me, which is huge. And they even have more freaking tactics because of the extra discipline. So I need to avoid engagements with them. Oh, I'm sorry. They actually got military tech 12. That explains a lot. I am so screwed. I need to really avoid the French. The French are very close to piecing us out though. Okay, let's see what it's looking like now. 25-24. Oh, yes, please. Oh, look at that. We lost 300,000 units. That is insane. All right, let's go ahead and try and piece out Brittany now. I'm afraid Brittany is going to get the World War I Germany treatment, and it's going to be blamed for Austria's problems. All right, so I'm ready. We're going to be taking all the money they have, and we're also going to be taking the province of Calais. Why do you ask we're taking this? Well, for strategic Burgundian reasons. It's over, Venice. I got you by the balls. We're only taking Istria, Venice, and returning the courts to our subjects because it's extremely high aggressive expansion expansion the city of Venice itself, because it is a 34 development city apparently. We also liberated Verona and Padua, which means we can turn them into our vassals diplomatically, so we technically took even more without paying the aggressive expansion toll. Now the question of the age is, what are we going to do with the destruction of Venice? So we have two options. We either lose 75% of the development in Venice and we get 75 ducats for each development point, so that's, I don't know, it's a lot of ducats, but it will get monthly devastation the city until the end of the game. Or we can reappropriate the arsenal, which will allow us to build the unique ships of the Venetians, the galleass, without the need of a shipyard or a dock in Venice also. So we're gonna go for that because I'm not a scumbag and I do want to reintegrate the city of Venice. After all, the city of Venice is a very, very Roman heritage city. Also, now we can start exporting Byzantine mosaics, and that will give us, depending on who we export this to, a different amount of money. And there you have it, boys. We also got our third idea set fully unlocked, so now we can do another policy, diplomat +1, monthly autonomy change minus 0.05, and we can even do another one if we want, but it would cost us 1 military power per month, so we don't really need to. Now we can also retract the right to inheritance from Milan, since they're super happy with us, and since we got back all the cores that they had. And for a measly 20 prestige, we can do the same with Ferrara. So once we integrate Ferrara and Milan, we have basically half of the northern bits of Italy without having spent a single Diplo power point to integrate them. PRONOIARs are really, really OP in my opinion. Yo, speak of the devil, we just incorporated Milan, so that means we got a massive chunk of North Italy. I kind of feel like I really need to start building a lot of courthouses if I really want to continue to expand though. Oh, actually no, I just realized we have 20% more governing capacity from the admin ideas, so we're genuinely pretty good with it now. So I've released Burgundy from the province of Calais, and now before anything else I need to wait for the French to finish the war. There you go. As I was saying, they did finish their war. I'm going to be attacking France, my truce is over, and I'm of course going to be going for the reconquest, of course, for both Burgundy and Provence, especially Provence, because the leader of Provence is 31. He might die any moment, right? So yeah, it's the Middle Ages. Hey, you never know. If he does, I like it if he has all of the lands, so I can, you know, get a big chunk of the French lands. Sacre bleu! The French went up to 88,000 units. Brother, they really want to not lose this war, do they? This is pretty much the same like World War II, when, you know, the good guys like us took on the bad guys, like the French, you know, to liberate the world from the evil and, yeah, make the world a better place, basically, right? How many units do we have compared to them? We got roughly 400,000 against 80. I mean, they're so scared of all of the troops that they're not even fighting. They're basically just trying to siege down stuff in Iberia, far from all my troops, because they know that they cannot actually take on my units. Look at that. They're just trying to do like small skirmishes against like 5,000-6,000 units when they can find them. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Let them eat my allies 5,000-6,000 and my puppets 5,000-6,000 or PRONOIARs. All right, I think that is pretty much it from the French. We're gonna take back all the cores, plus we're taking a little bit of money, and we are taking a few extra provinces because we'll be releasing Toulouse as well as Gascony. So that's half of France. All of the southern parts of France is Gascony and Toulouse and Provence, which we already have basically. So obviously in the next war, we're going to feed those guys the cores. And now let's go into the south because we're going to be attacking the Spaniards. It is time that we feed back our Spanish vassals too. Gascony has so many cores, it's crazy. And then Toulouse also has a buttload of stuff. Look at this too. I also took Auvergne because taking Quercy is cheaper than taking, say, for example, Toulouse, which is 15 development. So I just did a little bit of a snake here. And also Auvergne is a mountain fort that's going to make it easier for me to win the war against the French because they do not have this mountain fort in the next war. Naples is also getting integrated, so I'm not going to be coring all of these things here. I'm going to wait until they get integrated, and then I'm going to release Naples and again feed them back all the cores they have, including in the south in Sicily here. And that, kids, is exactly how you avoid aggressive expansion like the plague. Surprisingly, Pontevedra is the highest development province from all the cores. I don't know why, but the AI decided to develop like crazy that one province in Galicia. Hey, we also managed to do control over Pronoia, so we have three options. And obviously, we're going to go for the first option, meaning we don't need to stress about having to lower their integration rights and everything anymore. And I think I figured out the best deal from the Spaniards. I'm going to essentially take most of the southern provinces of Iberia. I'm not taking anything in Aragon because I will be releasing Aragon itself to feed back all the cores from both the French and the Spaniards when the truce is over with them. So we've got 8 Pronoias. They're all inheritable. The problem is that none of them are dying, so I cannot make Toulouse, and Gascony also, oh, as I just said that, we inherited Verona. Okay, well, first one that we're going to be doing is going to be Gascony. Boom, land a Pronoiar. Get his Liberty Desire below 15 so we can also make him inherit. Oh, wait, no, actually, he's directly a Pronoiar because of the mission that we did. Oh, that is awesome. Might be a tiny bit of aggressive expansion, but I am going to go batshit crazy on the Venetians and fully annex them. That way we can also do Belisarius' foe, and we can get a Chad Lord of a general as consequence. Oh, boys, we're getting so much development for so little aggressive expansion. I absolutely love the Pronoias, man. I feel like the Pronoias are by far the most overpowered stuff. Now, seeing as I've been expanding a lot into Europe and we have quite a bit of aggressive expansion, we're gonna stop going into Europe for a while and we're gonna focus again on the Arabian parts and maybe even the Persian parts so we can have uniform nice borders here and nobody to oppose us. We're gonna fix the border war in Arabia next, I guess you could say. Another one of our Pronoiars got inherited, so we can now release Naples, which means we can feed him back a buttload of cores. Look at that. That is absolutely glorious to stare at. Also, seeing as we've gotten 20 barracks now built, we can get until the end of the game maintenance reduction and land fire damage plus 10, making our units way better than they were before. Okay, we've developed Athens, so now we adopt the color of the Roman Empire, and we also will be producing dyes in Athens. Look how beautiful that is, man. I am actually in love with this color. Now, truce again is over with the French, so we're going to be rinse and repeating. This time it should be a lot easier since we have way more troops than in the previous war, and the French also have a lot less troops than before. One cool thing that happened is we released Naples, and because Provence has a mission tree that allows them to either get a personal union over Naples or cores, they got cores all over Naples lands as well. So that means the entirety of the south of Italy is a core of Provence, which is a good thing because the leader of Provence is 53, so he's going to pass way earlier than the leader of Naples, which is 23. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give all these cores to my Provençal Pronoiar rather than my Neapolitan one. Wait a second, the French have colonies in Florida. Oh, actually I haven't even checked the New World. Let's see what's happening here. So we got Spanish Argentina, Spanish Brazil, and we've got English North America mostly with a little bit of French mixed in here and there. A massive Caddo Federation that's kicking the butts of New Spain. The Zuni Federation, the Creek have unified. I think I can call this a complete victory over France. So we're going to take Valois because we can release Orléans afterwards, and Orléans actually has 120 development in like 4 provinces, and that's insane. And I'm also going to take La Bourde because I want to have a connection to the Aragonese lands we're going to get in the next war, as well as Forêt because again I want to have a connection to the northern provinces of France that I own directly, not have to rely on military access from Savoie. It is a little bit of coalition this time, but I'll be totally honest, I do not give a shit about coalitions anymore. I've got 300,000 soldiers and I can get 200,000 more if I need. I can literally fight the entire world if I have to at this point. Oh, look at that. Austria integrated Bohemia. So we restored Roman rule to the majority of the old empire with fragmented bits remaining here and there, which we will be swiftly bringing under Roman control in the next part. So don't forget to leave a like if you want to see that. And until the next time, I love you all. Take care of yourself.